Welcome, hello everyone. I am your host, Nick, the Duke of Hobbies, for Triple P's Around the Board, the player debate show where the tough questions are asked and the responses are judged. For two 10-minute rounds, players respond to specific questions. They will get points awarded or removed by your host, me. Players can also be muted to give other players a chance to respond. There will be one bonus round question between the rounds for additional points. Winning player will get 1 minute free rant period to talk about whatever they want. With the rules established, let's meet today's players and go around the board. And today we have Jake Abrams.
Hey guys, how we doing? AKA Penucks, the co-host of Triple P.
Rye for Gaming, Ryan.
What's up, guys? My name is Ryan. RA for Gaming. Nice to meet you.
Colton Names.
Hello, thanks for having me.
And we got Mike.
Nice to be here. Good luck to all my opponents today.
Right. Okay, guys. So, like I said, we're going to start with the first question of the day. Now, just as a special note to our audience here, is actually all four members here are the four tag team members for the Heroes Inc. Pittsburgh team. So, big congratulations to all four players here for qualifying for that event. I thought that would be a great way to start off this show, bring it back with you guys with this first question. What decks should the team play? And your time starts now. Ryan, start us.
All right, we totally need to play Eternatus.
Okay, why?
Yeah, just Eternatus has been, even through Players' Cup, has just been stomping through every deck with such consistency. It's got to be the best deck in format, in my opinion.
All
So
right.
I do agree that Eternatus is good, but there is a card in the meta that really kind of deters that list, and that's called Crushing Hammers. You just keep rolling the heads, that list can just lose.
That's
Okay.
if the deck's running hammers.
That's why you run Turbo Patch.
Turbo.
Oh,
That's like a
I
minus,
just
it
taken
has to be
away
a minus
points for
point.
that.
No, minus points on that. Horrible idea.
I'm gonna have to
Great
agree with
idea.
Jake there because I've played Eternatus a lot. That's one of my favorite decks. I've always been a fan of Dark, but Hammers just is one of the most frustrating cards. It'll tilt you to no end,
Mhm.
and most decks are playing that. Even if you're playing Scorch, which doesn't commonly run Hammers, you can set it up in a way that you can just take off the energy first turn. Like you can take that off, set them back a turn, and then you welder, and then you're right back to where you need to be. So Eternatus is a top list, but is it the list for this tournament format? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. And just aside that, there are ways to play around it as an Eternatus, doing the power accelerator, but then you're just going way behind. And especially if you're playing against like a Pika Rom or an ADP, they just gained a turn on you, and it's just set off from there. My pick would probably be, and you probably wouldn't expect this from me, ADP. With the addition of the Rusted Sword, I think that list is on another level now. I had it out in the top 5 before the Rusted Sword, but now that the Rusted Sword is there, I give it's top in my
Get
heart.
ADP out of here. I just want to use that Rusty Sash.
Hold on, Ryan. Let's let Mike talk here. What are you
Okay,
what
go
are
ahead.
you thinking, Mike? What's your opinion on ADP here?
Well, it makes Pikarom almost invalid at this point because you could just one-shot all the
Exactly.
tag teams.
Mhm.
So I tend to agree with him on that point, but I think instead of
point.
Eternatus, maybe our third deck should be Mad Party.
Oh, psh.
Really?
Ooh,
No,
okay. Why is
It's
that? Hold
hard.
on. Why is that? Why is that? Let's hear it. I want to hear his opinion on that one.
Because everybody's playing the big Vmaxes and you can two-shot them as long as you're drawing well. And it has a tough matchup against ADP, but I still feel like you can knock it out after it does its first attack. You still have the chance.
Okay,
But
hold
the-
on. Before we go to
creation.
Jake, Ryan, how about you? You were trying to bring it up. Why not? I saw a lot of head shakes here. Let's go to you,
Yeah.
Ryan, first.
For ADP or Mad Party?
Mad Party.
Mad Party. I think Mad Party is a decent choice. I don't think it's a good choice because of the ADP matchup. It's very good because of the strong matchups against tag teams and VMAXs, but unless you're sure that you're not going to run into something like ADP, I would say that it's probably not so good of a matchup because multiple teams will probably end up both bringing multiple ADPs in, and it's going to be crazy.
Do
You
you
know what else?
think? Real quick,
multiple ADP.
is it allowed multiple versions of a deck like that, or like you can all run ADP? I wasn't aware of that for the rule.
Technically, I think you're all allowed to. You can run identical lists if you
Wow.
feel it's
So that's
necessary.
a really good point, Ryan. That's a really good point. Okay, Jake.
But no. So you know what else knocks out all the tag teams now? ADP. You know what else has a good matchup against any single prize deck? ADP. It has very minimal setup. ADP. Eternatus, you still have to have the perfect turn one and get the second energy across, and then you have to build up the bench. Centiskorch, you have to go second and have to get that Volcanion. And is it good? Yes, when you do that, it is good, but it takes more setup. ADP is a lot less of a setup deck. It's pretty easy just to get an attachment and then a energy onto a Zacian, and then just switch it over to ADP, and then you're off and running. And a lot of things can't respond fast enough to knock ADP out before he actually attacks.
Well, Colton, real quick, let's go to Colton. Colton, what are you thinking about ADP? Do you think it's the strongest contender, or do you think they should go with something else?
So I'm in agreement with Jake's point about ADP against, in this case, Mad Party in particular, just any single prize deck. But I think that's probably the highest rating single prize deck right now is Mad Party, yes, along with Blacephalon, but they're not doing solo Blacephalon anymore, so we're not really worried about that. We have like 3 prizers with that. I think ADP is probably going to be the most played, but I also think ADP is the most played because it is the least skill based. I think ADP is you can put the deck ADP in the hands of anybody and they can figure it out and they can work their way through that. That doesn't mean a skilled player with ADP is not a threat, but I think there will just be more people playing that because it's easy access and you don't really, it's kind of brainless at some points. Now, my pick for the deck list, like the you would want to be playing, is probably Centiskorch. I played the 2 variants that have been floating around as the Silvally, and I've also played the Nets. I'm leaning toward Nets as like the best option. I think Centiskorch has answers for everything, and it doesn't have less than a 50-50 against anything. So I think Centiskorch has answers to ADP because it's the fire weakness. They're not always going to be running the weakness guard or the steel energy. I don't know what it is. Metal coating energy.
Metal coating. I don't think they run it at all. They can't afford to.
They have
Luke Metal does, but ADP does not.
And that's the other thing.
That is our
too.
coating metal energy.
There you go, coating metal. Luke Metal should not be around too much in this format either because of the new ADP, because it's going to be shut down by the new ADP. So if you run Centiskorch, it has winning matchups, or 50-50 at the worst against what we're talking about as the 3 most powerful threats is ADP, Eternatus, and maybe Mad Party or something like that. It has answers to every deck. You're not going to instant lose to any deck in the format.
You know it has good matchups against ADP and Eternatus? Licky.
Oh, jeez.
You're going for the minus points, really?
I'm Woody Page. I'm with the hot takes.
He's doing a good job being Woody Page.
Come in with the hot takes.
I know, but in all seriousness, though, Mike, what's your response to ADP, though?
There is no response. It's just the best and the easiest to play. All you need is boss's orders. It's pointless. It's no fun.
We didn't ask what was the most fun deck.
No, it is a point there, though. I mean, understandingly. So, okay, Jake, though, if you couldn't pick ADP, we heard Colton. He's thinking Centiskorch and Eternatus. What's your second go-to then?
It would have to be either Centiskorch or Eternatus.
Okay, how about you, Ryan? What's your second two?
I have Tempozard and Rusty Zacian.
Okay, why Tempozard then?
Tempozard is just fast. This guy is Tempozard. It has the options of being able to run double Cramorant, Blacephalon, and you can run Scoop Up. You can run the Scoop Up Net engine with it to be able to run Mewtwo to get your welders back, to get your Zigzagoon pings off to fix your math. To run, you can run Fion with it to gust things up. You can run what's the other one? Giratina to get rid of coating metal energy and other special energies, so on and so forth. Scoop Up engine's really good with Tempozard, and Tempozard's just really powerful. It does have a weaker HP than Centiskorch, which makes it less strong.
You have donk ability though, so it is very strong. Right. That's in a game like that. Like if you're going second,
we have to keep in mind that these are best of ones.
Yeah. So if your opponent just starts out with a dead hand passes and you get a Reshi out there, you can just welder to it for a win.
Yeah.
So
I think that is probably the best counter to ADP, that deck. I would think.
I would say,
that's
although
probably a good.
Scorch is my top pick, I would say that is its weakness in this format is the best of one, because I think Scorch has the highest likelihood of hitting a rock, like hitting a brick whenever you draw.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Oh,
Right,
I can tell you that too.
So that is its weakness, but I think collectively, overall, over the whole tournament, I think it still has the highest chance to perform better than the rest of the deck.
And it's
Okay,
a
so
shame
we're
that
at the
Rust-
1 minute warning here for the round.
Yeah.
Real quick then. So what about Luke Metal or some of the other kind of other decks that are out there?
I would
Like
say it's
Pikarom.
a
No
sh-
one's saying Pikarom.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll go on that because there's no Pikarom because of Rusted Sword. I would say if the Rusted Sword wasn't there, Pikarom is the number one deck.
Yeah.
Because it has the best matchup spread. It has the most options of any of those decks. And all the other decks that we talked about, aside from ADP, favorable at or even at worst.
It will still be played. Pikarom will still be played, and I think
Agreed.
you could maybe say it's tilting 65-35 like ADP Pikarom. Like it's not going to lose to every ADP it plays, because it'll still be there and it'll still be able to pull off like the paralysis shenanigans and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I think they made a mistake by printing Rusty Sword right now.
I agree.
Makes it
I
so-
wholeheartedly agree.
It just makes that so much better than everything. Being able to one hit all the Pikarom stuff, like that was why Pikarom was viable, because it had the resistance to sponge one shot, unless if they had a vitality ban. But like now they can get the Pikarom and the Raichu in one shot with the Rusted Sword.
They just Pokemon wants to push the tag teams out, and that's what Rusted Sword is there.
Well, all right. Well, that's the end of the round, actually. So with a round score update, because you guys can't see that right now,
No.
Jake, you are sitting at 12 points. Colton, you're sitting at 14. Ryan, you're sitting at 12. And Mike, you had a really good, strong push there at the end, which I was glad, because I was going to give you the last 15 seconds. You're at 13 right now, too.
What? Okay.
Yeah, well, hey, everyone's saying good stuff.
Hot take.
All right, so
I definitely deserve.
licky.
He says
Game
licky,
names.
licky, and he still is
I
ahead
took
of
him
me,
down
Ryan.
points for it. All right, here we go. All right,
Dude, the licky is so fun.
All right, so we're gonna go into the bonus round here. The question for Yins before we're gonna take a small break. What Pokemon name is Japanese onomatopoeia for squeaking and shimmering? Just think about it. When I come back, we'll go through each of your answers, and I'll give you the bonus points.
Don't look it up, guys.
Don't look it up. Don't look it up.
I need to look up what onomatopoeia means.
Minus points. Minus.
We are back.
I forgot
Hello,
what you
everyone.
asked.
Back with the bonus round here. So, guys, we'll start with you, Jake. What Pokemon name is Japanese for onomatopoeia for squeaking and shivering? What's your guess?
Dragonfall.
Okay. Ryan.
Jigglypuff.
Ooh. Mike.
Pikachu.
Colton.
Spoink.
And the answer is Pikachu.
Oh.
Way to go, Mike. All right, so Mike, you get a couple bonus points here. I had no idea how much to give, so I'm just going to give a few. All right, but this is a fun category for the second round here. I thought this would be kind of an interesting one, even though it's not really tag team qualifier stuff related. But for round two, starting off with Ryan, you know what, Jake, we'll start with you this time. I started with Ryan last time. Single strike or rapid strike? Which one do you think is better? Go.
Rapid strike.
Why?
Well, first off, the one word consistency. It is super consistent compared to the single strike. Does it have the one shot ability? No, but it has the spread ability. It has the disruption. It has the consistency. It has everything you want to do to disrupt them. And the name of the game in Pokemon is consistency. And
You said it a few times.
Yes. Well, because it's true. You can't win with single strike if you don't get all your combo off, can you?
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Can you elaborate on disruption? What do you mean? Like, just so I'm familiar, so I can.
The billowing fan.
Is that the energy removal?
Yeah, the energy removal is awesome. You just play it as an item, so you can continuously get rid of those energies on your opponent's side, and it doesn't even have to be active. So yeah, you have your Urshifu single strike setting up on the bench, and then you're just building fan those energies away. So it just makes it that much harder for him to get up and running to single strike you.
That's a good point.
So I'll make an argument the other way. At least this is my opinion in the beginning of this first expansion here. So I think it's going to be the single strike. I think we're in a format right now that focuses super heavily, although consistency is important. We're in a format that focuses super heavily on big knockouts and one shots. Like,
good points.
We don't have a lot of decks right now that are doing chip damage. It's either you get this knockout, or if you don't that turn, you're probably going to lose. So I think with, to counter the point of the billowing fan, I think the Houndoom is enough to keep up with that fan, because if you have 2 Houndooms on there, you're getting your energy that fan's putting back into the deck. You're getting that right back onto your field the next turn. They're not removing it. They're not discarding it. It's going back in your deck. So I think in the beginning of the format, this big one-shot, Urshifu, because it's 20 for the energy if you can get the special energy. And then you can add, Martial Arts Dojo if you need it. You can use Karate Belt if you need one less energy. You can
Good
even
points.
shield yourself with Stone Fighting Energy and get a little bit more health, so you're not as fragile. So I think all of these things make single strike, a little bit more powerful early on, and then rapid strike might have its place after a couple more cards come out.
Good points. Good points.
Or
Okay, Ryan.
cards
I
going
want to hear
away.
from Ryan next. Single strike or rapid strike?
Rapid strike.
Okay,
all
why?
the way. Rapid strike is, like Jake said, consistent, but not only that, it has pretty good matchups. And there's already been a deck that I was looking at, and I'm pretty sure Jake's also been looking at this deck too. And it is Rapid Strike Urshifu with Dragapult Vmax. And that's right, Jake. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're going to be hitting things. You're going to be chipping. Your opponent might knock something out, but your finisher is going to be knocking out 2 things at once. And you're going to be finishing the game pretty easily with just being able to have the consistency search cards, finding your Rapid Strike energy, finding your Rapid Strike stadium, finding anything else that you're needing to look for. And Dragapult's going to be benefiting off that as well, although not being able to be searched with Rapid Strike. It is still getting searched.
Before we go to Mike, let me ask you this, though. With the higher and higher health that we see with the Pokemon Vs and the Vmaxes that we're getting, do you feel that maybe Rapid Strike might have an issue down the line with a lower damage output?
No.
Yeah, like Jake said, no. Because
Why?
you're using a card
either.
like, you're using an attacker like Dragapult to be able to fix that math. Dragapult's going to be doing 5 damage counters on your opponent's bench, however you'd like, and you can set that math up to be able to knock something out and be able to take
only that,
prizes.
the game is kind of shifting to a spot where a lot of those decks are going to be baby guys, Mad Party, other decks kind of getting set up in the future. So, okay, yeah, you can one-shot something, but it's a one-prizer, so who cares? So those rapid strikes are going to have options, more options to take multiple prizes when the single strikes don't.
That's a really good
This
point.
is
All right,
where-
Mike, hold on to Colton before we'll go right to Mike. He hasn't gotten a chance yet. Rapid or single strike?
I haven't researched much about the set yet, but I'll have to say it seems like Rapid Strike would probably be better, because the faster you get going, it's always better. You get out like to a lead, and along with like what Jake was saying about the billowing fan, I mean, you can put crushing hammers in there too, and then just disrupt their energy the entire game, and then makes it tough. Like you can't, if you're able to hit the hammers, then you can keep the special energy out of the deck, as opposed, like opposite of what the billing fan would be doing, which would be putting it back in the deck for search.
Right. Those are good points. Colton, you were trying to talk here?
Yeah, no. I think it's not that I disagree with, Rapid Strike being a good, archetype.
Mhm.
I think if we're talking immediately on release, because the way that Jake had phrased it, it's like we are moving towards these little guys becoming more of a force. So if we're talking long term, I think it's fair to say that Rapid Strike is going to be eligible as like one of the better decks. But right now, I don't think so, because Rapid Strike's not going to take your big knockouts that you need fast enough in the format that we have right now. That's my crucial, like, I guess, opinion on that one.
Well, it's remain to be seen, but these rapid strikes are going to two-shot most of these big boys in the first place with the Urshifu. So if you can get that first attack off, and like I said, consistently get what you need, your engine rolling, you can still just outpace them, even though they're hitting you harder.
Well, real quick, add to this question then. So we have Eternatus, who's dominating, as you guys talked previously, dominating a lot. And I get the Dragapult Urshifu combo, but doesn't that kind of seem kind of backwards in a weird way? Like you hit a lot, what's your guys' take on that kind of matchup then? That's where I see this issue between the two right now.
So this matchup is going to be, so what you're looking for in the Eternatus matchup with Rapid Strike Urshifu is you're looking to do more of the damage with Urshifu because he does hit Eternatus for weakness. You're looking to be able to hit him for weakness. Dragapult's weakness is dark. Yeah. So Dragapult does not want anything to do with Eternatus. Dragapult is out of the question.
Okay.
Now Urshifu, he's the main attacker. You're going to be focusing on him, and he's going to be the guy who's going to be doing damage. His first attack, Gale Thrust, will do 150 if he moves from the bench to the active. That'll hit Eternatus for 300. I don't know about you, but Eternatus is not running Weakness Guard energy, and I don't think they ever will be running Weakness Guard energy.
No, it can't.
Probably
it can't
will have to.
Oh, it can't.
I agree with Mike there. I agree. Like you're gonna have to. But
instead of capture energy.
Yeah, but you're still gonna just billion fan it away. So it's not. It doesn't matter. Like,
which you can search with Octillery.
Exactly.
Ooh, okay. So, Mike, actually, Colton, real quick, you're our main Eternatus player. How do you respond to that matchup then?
Yeah, so he raised a good point. I don't really have an answer to the billowing fan, off the top of my head here, because that is, incredible way to get rid of that resource that Eternatus would have to inherently use. Like, you have no other chance. So, like, I think, to your point with the Dragapult, I think whenever the Urshifu Dragapult player sees that they're playing Eternatus, which would be immediately because you have to bench the Eternatus the first turn or else you're already behind, then they inherently just don't play the Dragapult. Like you can survive without that card in that matchup. So Eternatus is going to be in a very bad spot, after this set releases. Weakness Guard, is kind of invalid now with that, but I don't know. I don't think Eternatus is going to have a place easily. It's still going to be run because it's still a very good deck. It's going to be like one of those things where Eternatus, this one, just took the loss to Luke Metal. It's just going to take the loss to Urshifu decks, which are going to be prominent, so you're going to see less of it.
So you were seeing a lot of, before Eternatus came out, like Dragapult was the deck, and then Eternatus came along and just kind of knocked them out, and it's kind of this rotating,
it's interesting back and forth.
Yeah. So now I think that E-Turn is not going to have a really prevalent place in the meta. It's not going to be in that 10% range like we've been seeing. It's going to probably be closer to the 1 to 2% range.
Okay, and so with the 1 minute warning here, let's jump to Mike. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I like the idea behind the Dragapult Urshifu.
Do you see any weaknesses for that deck?
Just maybe a mirror match, or well, while the Mewtwo and Mews are still in rotation, that would probably be a pretty big weakness to it.
So it does have weakness to Urshifu, but Dragapult just comes out and says, "Hey, Mewtwo, Mew, you're weak to me."
Yep, that's the other thing.
Good point.
Start running Jirachi, I guess, but for now,
there's some tug and pull there.
Yeah. So how do you handle the matchup then?
Well, there's another card coming out soon. There's another card coming out, and it's in Japan's Matchless Fighters set that's going to be coming out on March 13th. And it is a Blaziken Vmax, which allows you to use 2 energy to 130. These are colorless energy, so Rapid Strike energy does work for this because it is a Rapid Strike Vmax. It does 130, and you get to pull 2 energy from your discard and attach them to one of your bench Pokemon.
Okay, so based on all this, and the round is over here. Hold on, we're gonna do one more time. Jake, Rapid Strike or Single Strike?
Rapid Strike, 100%.
Okay, Colton.
I'll stick with Single Strike for now, for the beginning.
Ryan.
Rapid Strike.
Okay, and Mike.
Rapid Strike as well for me.
All right, well, guys, that's actually going to be it for the final round here. And with the scores, I kid you not, Jake had some really good points, but he takes it in a close one, 30 points to Colton, who had 29. You guys were actually tied there, and I wasn't sure if we'd get
A
Colton to
damn fan.
switch.
Damn fan.
I know hey, you handled it well. I thought you brought up some good points on like understanding, like as an Eternus player, you have to accept that, like that's going to be an issue. I didn't want to interrupt too much because the interesting thing to note, weakness guard, you can't make the attack with Eternus then because he needs 2 dark energy.
No,
I believe,
yeah,
right?
He has one color.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm thinking.
Dragapult.
Never mind. Yeah, they need the same. So, all right. So, Jake, you get a 1-minute rant for free on anything you want to talk about here, and your time. And let me start now.
Okay, well, first and foremost, I want to thank all of you guys for coming on. This has been awesome. Each and every one of you has helped me become like a better player in this last year. I see Ryan looking like he's gonna laugh, but no, I appreciate all you guys, and you guys got my level to a place where Players Cup 3, I prevailed and got a spot, and I couldn't have done it without all of your guys' help. So that's basically all I want to do is just use this time to say thank you to all of you guys for pushing my level at locals, on our leagues, even in the team events when we played against each other to make it to this point. Every single one of you has had a huge part in that, and I just want to say thank you.
You got 10 seconds left.
And Dragapult's coming back, and he's going to do good things in the next set. In the next set of cards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dragapult's the best.
All right, guys. But yeah, that's gonna be it. So thank you all again for joining us, and appreciations for coming on also. So I really, I hope you guys had a good time, and I hope everyone watching had a good time too. So just real quick, again, thank you for everyone for watching us today, and thank you to today's contestants. Again, we had Mike S., Ryan, Colton, and today's winner again, Jake. If you enjoyed this, we'll be back in, maybe 2 weeks here on YouTube with different players, more burning questions, and another time to go around the board.